Hello fellow dragons, it's Shane from Astral Dragon Gaming, and today we're going to be reviewing Omno. It's a small indie game developed by Jonas Manke from Germany, and he is publishing it through Future Friends Games and Studioinkyfox, which is his own studio because he is a single developer. Now straight off, this game is a Kickstarter game. It's come out on a whole load of platforms, come out on PS4, Xbox, Game Pass, Steam, you name it, it's coming out. It's even heading towards Switch at some point as well. Now, I kickstarted this game as well. I well and truly signed up. I have the digital art book, I have the digital backdrops for it, the soundtrack, and an entire copy of the game. And you know what? I am not dissatisfied with the wait that it's taken. It's taken this poor guy 5 years with kids under tow, with everything else that has to go through to develop a game, and the man did it, and he did a damn good job. And I can guarantee you the other thing is that every month I got a email from him telling me how well he was going with his game, how far he'd come with his game, showing us all these different things. But honestly, when I first sort of showed this on YouTube, the actual little demo that was handed out as a normal sort of thing, that is what sold this entire game to me. The entire game got sold to me so quickly and so easily because it is phenomenally well. Because there are so many things about it that make it just an experience. If you like games like Journey, if you like games that give you that exploration feeling, that feeling of movement, that feeling of tranquility, and a whole list of other different tiny little things that make a game just beautiful for however long you play it or for however long you haven't played it. It's always holds that little center part in your mind and you just go, wow, that was such a good game. That's what Omno is. It is a really simple and basic game. So let's get straight to the meat and guts of it. What is the story? The story is you play as this particular antagonist, a single person on their own journey, following the path of light that was set before you by all the staff bearers, the people that brought the light into the world and created the entire world. You get to discover creatures, you solve puzzles, and you eventually get to the point at the end where you can traverse the light. That is this entire game. Now, that is not what makes this game fantastic. What makes this game fantastic is everything in it. Not just the story, not just the music, not just the visuals, not just the movement, not just the controls. Everything about this game is phenomenally fantastic. And it blows my mind more when I think a single guy made this. A single person stuck in his own sort of four walls, just slowly piling time on top of time and making something so extraordinarily beautiful. It's much like how I felt when I played Stardew Valley. It's much like how when I finally started getting into Undertale and understanding all the bits and pieces that go for it. These are quintessentially hallmarks of games that are really such beautiful things. Journey, the first time it came to PC and I could actually play it, my god, my mind was blown by how beautiful Journey was. And it was such a simple game. And Omno is no different. So, in Omno, the graphics and whatnot are basically very single-celled graphics that are rendered on 3D objects, and there is a simple color palette and really extraordinarily good lighting. And that is the entire thing that makes this game fantastic. Graphically, this game is simple but very effective. It is taking in the basics of a Zen sort of philosophy in how you present something and then extrapolating on it with other aspects in that. You get to surf across the ground on your staff. You get to dash very quickly. You get to teleport from one place to another. You get to float. You get to do all these other tiny little things here and there. and it's just so engrossing. That thump sound that comes from transporting or suddenly dashing across screen, it makes the entire game feel very fluid, very simple, very artistic, but at the same time very great. I think I'm brought back to another game that also, it's 2D, but it has this same sort of feel, Gris, where the female protagonist in it jumps and flies and everything like that, but the feeling of weight, the feeling of movement, the feeling of execution is fantastic. And a big shout out for the animation for the various creatures and various animals that you meet in this world. They're all animated so beautifully, and they have a personality. There is a stag creature that looks kind of like it's just very regal and whatnot, and then there's these little squirrel-like things that look very much like a squirrel, playful, happy, playful, and everything. Birds feel really bird-like, and so many things in this game just pile up on top of each other and just orchestrate this entire world that was there, but no one's there anymore. It's just left to the animals, and it just feels so good. Now, I'll shut up for a few minutes and we'll listen to some of the music and sounds and whatnot, and just envelop you in this overall feeling of this game, because that is what it is. And I'll come back and I'll talk more about the game and sort of gush more, because that's what I'm going to do about this game. The music takes you somewhere else. The music gives you a world in which you live in. It makes you soar to really high heights, and then it drops you down into the deep chasms of the world around you and everything. It envelops you in this blanket of just harmony and peace and adventure, and it feels so good. The music designer for this, and I know who it is, and I can't remember them off the top of my head. I know that I got the download for it and I can't remember their name, but my god, their work on this is like phenomenal work. You cannot... here it is. Benedict Nicholas. I love this work. I love this music. It's like there are 38 tracks in the soundtrack, and they're just peaceful, harmonizing, and they just make you feel so many emotions, so much power, so much energy, and it's just a real tour de force of good work, and it suits this entire piece right down to a T. I can't tell you how much I love Benedict's work on this, but the real shine of this is Jonas Mankey. His work on this, just the evolution of your progress through this game, where you learn one skill and then you move on and then you move into another skill and another skill, and they equally join themselves, and then you can chain these skills together and chain the abilities together, and it feels so fluid. I'm running on an Xbox One controller, and just the ability to dash, float, then drop down and surf and fly along the landscape, and then jump up, teleport to something else, and then float from there, and it's just an effortless movement that feels so natural. Now, coming down to puzzles are relatively rudimentary, but that comes with a massive caveat, because there are some mind-twisting puzzles that you'll have to think about in a more three-dimensional sort of concept. Like, you'll have to figure out, oh, I have to go here in order to go here, and then I have to do this particular movement to go here to cause something else. And yeah, that is tricky. And there is one main puzzle round about the middle that is much more trickier. It took me, I think, a good 20 minutes to finish it, because it gave you the answer, but you had to orientate the entire answer in your head in a different direction in order for it to sit properly. Otherwise, yeah, you just kept on banging your head against the wall, because the pattern would continuously change, and the only way to solve the pattern was to change the pattern in reference to what orientation it was on the board at that point in time. But you'll get to that at the moment, but you will get through it. It will be easy to solve, it will be easy to finish, because you'll know where you're going with it. This is, to be fair, probably the best game of this genre I've played in a long time. It is a definite love note to Journey. It is a massive, well-earned piece of work from Jonas, because he's done something truly extraordinary here. It's to see one person's works, one person's vision in all of this, and to think that I was one of those supporters, and there were many others that also put in their time and their money to support this game. We got updates, we got photo renders, we got videos, we got pre-production demos, and all sorts of things for this game. And the whole way through, the developer was telling us about the game, telling us where he was going with the game. And this game is sold more to me through a lot of what he did in that respect, even more than what the game has actually turned out to be. The one thing that you will love in this game, and is probably the most gorgeous thing in this game, is surfing around on your staff. It is so mind-numbingly enjoyable. I think the way he's done the camera angles, the way he's done the mechanics of the movement and everything like that, if he could make this like a multiplayer game, or make it a game that other people would adhere to, it would be a really great piece of work. So yeah, please go check it out on the various platforms. If you got Game Pass, it's 100% free, because you're getting it with all the other Game Pass games, and it's well worth the trial of it. It is only $15 in Australian dollars, so it means it's a lot cheaper everywhere else. And for the game that you're getting, it is immensely, so much more worth than what the monetary value that he's asking for it. It's only 4 hours, but I can say you'll probably come back and you'll try and 100% it, or you'll try and play some other part of it again, because it's, again, it's like Journey. It's a game that makes you feel things. It makes you enjoy the game so much more through the sum of its parts. But anyway, I've been Shane from Astral Dragon Gaming. Please, if you liked the video and you found that it was helpful, hit the like button and make sure that you subscribe for new and up and coming videos coming soon. Bye for now.